Manufacturing, one of the hardest and longest parts of releasing a product. Whether it's board games, whether it's card games, whether it's video games, or any other product for that matter. In fact, when you create products, there's always a certain percentage of error. With that said, there's always these products that have errors that are corrected by the companies. In fact, I've had numerous occasions that I've bought video games and had to return them to the manufacturer, or I should say the publisher, to have them replaced. They usually give no hassle, no problems whatsoever. Board games. You buy a board game, it's missing a piece. It's not uncommon. It does happen. However, the makers of those board games will then either A, ask you to go to the store to get a replacement, depending on if they have a dealer that handles such issues, or they will just send you a new piece. In this case, I don't believe we have any of those options. Let's take Wizards of the Coast for instance. I don't believe, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that they manufacture nor do they create their own product here in the US. From my understanding, it's from a third-party vendor in, I believe, Belgium or somewhere else. So they don't necessarily have 100% control of quality, but they hire companies, which then in turn work on their behalf. Let's just take Modern Masters 2017. I've recently purchased 2 cases of Modern Masters 2017. And the first case that I opened had a lot of issues with quality control. Now, let's show you some examples. Here's Misty Rainforest. Now, it's not very clear if you look at the card, but if you take a look at the corner of Misty Rainforest, there is a definite miscue on how the card is cut. Let's put a token on top of Misty Rainforest. You can see where the difference is between the corners, rounded versus kind of somewhat cut. This then creates an issue. What do? Do we just have a card that's miscut? Let's take Primal Command for instance. Again, you may not see it right away, but up close, let's take a look at the bottom first. Again, comparing it to the token card that comes within Modern Masters. You can see at the bottom there, the token has a nice rounded corner as it normally does. And, well, Primal Command has some sort of cut corner. I'm not sure what kind of shape you would call that, but it's certainly not the rounded corner you would expect. Now, let's look at the top. The top is clearly not cut. One of the things that I'm frustrated about is the fact that almost 30% of the cards in this case were cut incorrectly. Now, I've also wanted to give you some more context. Let's move on and I'll show you a couple other cards from that same box. Again, showing the Ooze token, which has a nice rounded corner. And then we have 2 Goblin Guides, which have sort of squared corners. Now, unless Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast is going to a new card style when it comes to the way that their corners are cut, I don't think so. But if they are, that's kind of an interesting way to do it. If you also look at the bottom of the Goblin Guide card, it's also sort of cut in an odd, strange way. So what do? We can't do anything. We have to sit there and have a card that is either miscut or misinked. For instance, I didn't experience a lot of this. I was looking for some examples. I didn't have very many. But the one thing I have heard is there's a lot of inking issues with Modern Masters 2017. Additionally, I've noticed on foils, and which we've also had in the past, where the image almost looks fuzzy, like the ink was still wet when they foiled the card. I think this is almost unacceptable. I understand that there's issues, But in a product that we can't necessarily say, hey, Wizards of the Coast, let me mail you these cards in so you can give me some good cards that actually are cut properly. No, that doesn't happen. Nor should we expect that to happen. I think in those kind of situations, it is very hard to say they could do that, because the amount of requests to have that done, I think, would be incredibly large, and wouldn't be able to be managed by Wizards of the Coast. But I think what could happen is better quality assurance. When a whole case of cards is rolled off improperly cut, there's no reason for that to be missed. Now, I think lines on cards, does that happen? Yes. Is that something you can really control? I don't think so. It sucks, it's not fun, but I think there's nothing we can do about that. Inking, I think, is another big issue, because as these sheets are rolled off, they should be inspected, or at least we would assume they would be inspected. In most manufacturing, they would be inspected. That's usually a job of somebody's, to inspect the cards or product as it comes off the line. With that said, even though I'll sit there and I'll open packs and I'll have those issues and I say, thanks Wizards of the Coast, I don't think it's actually absolutely fair to blame Wizards of the Coast. I think we have to blame the people who manufacture the cards, whoever they may be. But Wizards of the Coast should be aware of these issues and should be able to have the opportunity to rectify the issue. I don't know how we go about either suggesting or recommending how Wizards of the Coast can correct this kind of issue, because I do believe this happens more often than not when it comes to both inking and improper cutting. I look forward to your comments below, and I encourage influencers of Magic the Gathering to Wizards of the Coast to spread this information, because I think, although they may not do anything about it, at least somebody knows that there is an issue, and it affects the customers purchasing the product. Now, Modern Masters 2017 is not an inexpensive product. When you purchase a whole case of a product, it's expensive. You should get premium quality assurance. So spread the word, tell me what you think below, and let me know if you have any issues. Let's come together as a community to let Wizards of the Coast know that there is an issue that they need to attend to. See you next time.